Good morning, everyone. It says I'm live, so I'm always I'm always a little bit unconvinced that it's live when it says it's live. Hi, Donnell and Candace. Hey, Ingrid. Good morning. Let me know if you can see me and hear me just fine. I always like to make sure. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday brunch. Excited to have everybody here. Hi, Katie. What's up, Russ? Oh, Donnell. Donnell is talking about the pattern that I'm going to be working on today, which is Hazy Hills Central. Now, the cool thing about the Hazy Hills trio, it's going to be west from last year, central this year, and east next year, is that when they are first released, they are class exclusives. So, good morning. Hi, Marianne and Tamala, Candace, Landa. Wow. Hi, everybody. Marjorie and Terry. Hi, Kathy and Catherine. Excited to see you all. I wanted to talk a little bit about Hazy Hills Central and how you can get your hands on this beauty. So for this year, Central is, and here, let me show you. So this was West. This was last year's. This one is available for purchase. You can actually go to, shameless plug, my Legit Kits link, which is an affiliate link, and you can pick this up from Legit Kits right now. This is no longer exclusive to just taking a class to do this. We still offer this during classes because it's such a fun one. It's gorgeous. Everybody loves it. So we still teach it when we're doing classes. It's just not only for classes anymore. And that happened last year in October. They released it to the public. What I'm working on today is Hazy Hills Central, so the middle of the three sisters. And so I'm working up this one. This is this year's class exclusive. So in order to get your hands on this beauty, you have to do a class. Now, in my world, classes usually mean virtually. Right now, for Legit Kits, there are only two of the instructors, the instructors, if that makes sense, like the instructors that teach the instructors. They are the only ones. They're test piloting the virtual classroom for Legit Kits. So I am not able to teach any of the class exclusive, any of them virtually until they've done the testing, the I guess proof of concept testing. Now, between you, me, and the wall, I feel like I've done a lot of proof of concept testing on teaching virtually. So I'm ready to hit the ground running as soon as they say, okay, go for it. Because I think we've all successfully, I love how Nightbot gets so excited. Like, it's been an hour. No. I am ready to go and teach these centrally. I want to work with you guys to work on this one. The class ones, they are 20 by 15 inches. So they are just, they are, so if you're doing the block of the month, the vortex or the iris, how they send the 4 blocks, Hazy Hills, all of them are those 4 blocks, but for the blocks of the month, they're vertical. Hazy Hills are horizontal. So they're 4, 8.5 by 11 that you make into the blocks, but they're this way instead of up and down like the blocks of the month, if that makes sense. Good morning, Shelly. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Donnell. We were just talking about how you get your hands on Central. So, until I can teach these buggers virtually, hey, Johanna, how are you? It would have to be for me, a class where I am face-to-face, where we're hanging out. And I know that most of y'all are not right here in my backyard. However, there are Legit Kit certified instructors kind of across the nation. And I am certainly willing to travel, especially on the East Coast. Uh, Maybe not as far as Oklahoma City again. That was quite the drive doing that. But I'm certainly willing to travel if you have a guild or a shop that would like to, sponsor having a certified instructor come in and teach the class. I am absolutely willing to do that. I love to drive to travel. That's why maybe Oklahoma City is a little too far. That's a big drive. But yeah, so that's how you get your hands on Central right now. October will be a year, and the goal is to have virtual open for the rest of us at the year mark. So we'll see what the future brings, but for right now, that's how you get your hand on Central. You can't just order it from Legit Kits. West you can. West you can order from Legit Kits. It's the one with the sun, which everybody gets very, where is it? Very geeked out about. It's so cool to have the little sun peeking out, and the clouds are very pretty. Central is clouds but no sun, because why would you have the sun in 3 different locations when you're going to put them all together? But taller mountains, this Central one, and a lot of the dark deep greens that I really like. So this is the guy I'm working on today as we chitty chat and work. What I just realized I have to do is I have to move last night's project, where we were all together working on Cotton Cuts Carnival. That's the Carnival one I'm working on. We've lovingly started calling this stovepipe or the oven hood or something like that. and then this is the other one. These were last night for Cotton Cuts Carnival. Clue number 7. We're almost done with Carnival. And Tree of Life mailed out. If you weren't able to join us last night and you had not seen, Tree of Life mailed Friday, not yesterday, Friday. All of the labels were created on Friday. Whether or not the post office was able to pick them all up on Friday, totally different story. But they were all ready and good to go. Hey, Tammy. Yeah, I love Central too, and I'm excited about East. And I have to have them all done in order to be able to teach them, whether that's virtually or face to face. So, I'll be working on that booger today. Yeah, we were in Star Wars. I was gonna say Star Trek there for a second, and I would been banned for life from nerddom. We would definitely have a couple of sons. Oh, she received it already. I'm jealous. So jealous that somebody already received Tree of Life. If you are still interested in doing the Tree of Life, whether you have an ambassador or not, if you wanted to join, Stephanie and I are doing Tree of Life a little bit differently this go round. It's going to be Zoom, Zoom only. It won't be on YouTube. So if you are camera shy about being on like YouTube lives, this Tree of Life will never be on YouTube. You will never have to worry about having your face out in public. But we would love to have you join us for sure. It is a really good time. Last night we had Shelly and Karen. Russ was on. Why is my mind blanking? Del Marie. There we go. Del Marie. I was like, I know we had more than that. Where they were on the Zoom live, which was awesome, and then we had so many more folks in the YouTube, but those folks may feel much more inclined to join the Zoom when it's just the Zoom. So Tree of Life is going to be just a Zoom with no one else having to worry, with nobody having to worry about being out there live on YouTube. Hi, Heidi. Oh, it's windy. It's cold and it's a bit breezy, but not really. I wouldn't say it's windy, but it's like not a cloud in the sky here in Frederick today. It's beautiful. But yeah, if you are interested in joining Tree of Life, you're going to want to email Ingrid. And Ingrid is really good about remembering to put her email in. So if she does that, you can shoot Ingrid an email, but the list is going to Cotton Cuts for the folks that are in our group, where we get a 10% discount. If you are using an ambassador for Tree of Life, you are still able to join our group. You just can't stack discounts and such. So having an ambassador and using us, you're not going to get like a fatty discount or anything like that. It's one discount and one discount only. So that is that. Hi, Karen. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the overhead combo, and start showing you. I have block A1 all done, and I just need to trim the blocks and start sewing them up. So I'm going to work on that today. Oops, I don't think that worked. There we go. That's our overhead. I'll move the mouse so I don't do anything crazy. These are the pieces that I've already trimmed up. Nice blues, some of the cloud whites. Well, I don't even know what pieces they are. They may not go in that order. But so these I've already trimmed up and ready to go, and then this is the rest of the stack. For A1, it goes up to O, so A through O, and I just have to trim these, and then I have the assembly guide that shows you how to sew each individual unit together into sections, and then how to sew those sections together into the full block that we're putting together. So that's the fun of a legit kit block. Now I'm gonna start here with trimming. You're right, Johanna. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. It is... I didn't even look to see what the temperature is, but it is so beautiful and sunny. It was nice this morning when I took the dogs out. Nice, and like when they say a nice brisk morning, it was a brisk morning for sure. A couple of things, like, so if you're doing legit kits, some folks don't do the trimming that I'm doing. They leave these edges kind of like raw and wild looking, and then they pin in the corners and line it up and sew it that way. That totally works. It just hurts my brain. I've tried it a couple times. It does make it fast because you're not taking the extra step of trimming it. But it does. It hurts my brain. And so I go through the extra step of trimming up all the blocks. It's a personal preference. So if you like to do it the other way, where you don't worry about this extra trimming step, there is no one true way with this. It's whatever is going to help you get the best result, and as close to, perfect points on these bad boys as possible. We're all working towards the same goal, and the path we take to get there is our own. I do rarely, though, on any of the, like on the ones that have the ends, I rarely ever trim those. Usually leave them be. There's another little one. So, I love the little tiny pieces. 41, okay. Oh, happy birthday to the eldest. Oh. Oh, so for When I'm done with each project, I do put the fabrics in a filing cabinet, like just a 2-drawer little metal filing cabinet. When I'm working on the projects individually, for the smaller ones like Hazy Hills, because they're tinier, I just have West and Central both in this smaller file, expandable file system. It just has the little bloop, and you just store all the pieces in here. Because they're small, they're just 4 blocks each. The larger ones, like the big mamma jammas, like the Vortex and Sail Away and all those, I have those in a larger, they're 60 folder accordion file, expandable accordion file. I could usually get 2 projects into one 60 file. So like I have BJ the Blue Jay and Starry Night in one. So you get a couple of them in those accordion files. But as I've been collecting scraps and leftovers, I've started putting those fabrics into the file system, which is very cool, because if I miscut, or sometimes there will be like a slight difference in dye lots, and so I'll go to the file folders, the cabinet, there we go, and just make sure, like if I have something that's closer to the dye lot that I've been using, to make sure, because even still, I will make some cutting errors. I will get talking to somebody or feeling sassy and trying to cut a little too close because I'm trying to conserve fabric, and then I do something wonky. So yeah, having that backup is kind of nice. All right, have a good breakfast, Kelly. Oh, so it is February, and part of what I'm excited about February, aside from being my birthday month, is about going to QuiltCon this month, at the end of the month. And I've never been to QuiltCon, but I've never been to an actual quilt show. So, this one's a pretty big one to be my first, which I'm excited about. I am fully prepared to be overwhelmed and terrified of what's happening. But if you all have been to, hi Debbie, have been to a quilt show, either QuiltCon, either here on the East Coast or in Arizona, or any of the big or small, what would your recommendations be for being at a quilt show? How do you get the best out of being at a quilt show? Because I want to see the quilts. I want to see the beautiful work that people have done. I have a couple of friends here from Frederick who have worked together on a project, and it's there. It will be there at QuiltCon, and I'm excited to see that live and presented for all the world to see. I'm so proud of them. It was a pretty big deal for them to get in. Both their first time, and they worked on the project together. So yeah, definitely want to see the quilts, but I also want to see the vendor floor, because I'm a gadget gal, and I'm excited to see all of that. What are the noob mistakes I should try to avoid? I'm going to assume don't go in high heels for all that walking around. I don't know the last time I had high heels on. That would certainly make us stand out, Ingrid, if we wore heels. There's another cleaned up pretty piece. I do kind of like this, the zen moment of after having sewn all these fabrics to the papers, of trimming it all up and just making it pretty at the end. I know. Hi, Denise. Good morning. Oh, so here's another. Maybe nobody has anybody out there been to a quilt show, or are we all noobs? Have none of us gone to a quilt show before? That could be the case. My intention is to take some videos of while we're down there walking around. Water, comfy shoes, a big shoulder bag. Yeah. If you wear heels, you'll need a wheelchair. It would be a sight to see. Ingrid, I did go to, it was more a fiber fest. There was much more knitting and crochet, though there was some quilting fabrics and things, but nothing hung, no quilts hung for a show, and definitely not any real like quilting demonstrations and things like that. But I was able to get an amazing bag called the kitchen sink bag from an artist called Mabel Style, Mabel. And this bag is enormous, and it is from a rescued apple core quilt. I love this bag so much. It makes me so happy looking at it. It makes me so happy carrying it. It makes me so happy continuing the story of that quilt. Whoever created that quilt, hand quilted it, put those pieces together, and then now I'm using it in a fresh new way. So exciting. I sound like such a nerd when I talk about it, and I do not care because it makes me so happy. Oh, Shelly's never been to one. Candace went to Atlanta last year. Sweet. Oh, don't forget a snack. Peanut M&Ms, gonna have those on hand. Those are easy. Pop in your mouth. You don't have to like have any like Cheeto dust or anything on your fingers. Yes, the money. That's gonna be the biggest part. See, yeah, Candace, see, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about being overwhelmed, like not being sure what I'm looking at, what I, well, I guess not quite the same position if you had just kind of started last year and then you're at this big, huge quilt con. But I'm a sucker for a salesman. They both annoy me and intrigue me, and if they are a good sales pitch, I will buy an igloo in Alaska for sure. I am most interested in seeing, I mean, what I would say based on my kind of focus and direction for right now. I'm most interested in seeing different tools and gadgets that might help me get faster at sewing. I've always been a slow sewer. I just am. And I say it a lot because I just, want people to know that it's okay to be a slow sewer. But things to help me maybe streamline and get just some of the tedious things that makes me those are the things that make me a slow sewer. Help, maybe help those so I can speed up a little bit. And then anything FPP related, I'm going to be interested to see if there are new ideas, new gadgets, new everything. I use EQ8 to do the patterns, and it works, but it's not intuitive, and it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't do all the things I want it to do. I want to be able to have something that knows FPP, like really knows what you need for FPP, what you need for how your patterns should look, so I don't have to kind of create it myself as I'm going. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too deep. Ooh, the AQS in Paducah. I always bought a embroidery machine. That's wow. Nanda's drawn to gadgets too. Yeah, yep. Oh, see, now Debbie, I'm going with Stephanie and Ingrid, and we are equally enablers to each other. I don't think any of us are going to save each other. I think we are going to, yeah, be right there going, yeah, girl, if you want that, you get it, girl. That's cool. Yep, slow and proud. Oh, Candace, that is a good point. Where you can get something from a quilt show, but then you have to do the hurry up and wait. They want you to hurry up and buy it, but then you got to wait for it to be shipped. When you may find something at a local shop and to get a better deal. Somebody was talking about that last night, getting a better deal at a local shop. Yeah, Ingrid. We neither of us have control. There's no control. When one of us gets something and we tell the other one, or the other four, especially with our group from Pennsylvania, we're all then buying it. We're all going and getting it too. We are absolutely jumping on the bandwagon. We're a mess. In the best possible way. Hey, Melissa, how's it going? Yeah, Marianne. See? Marianne's one of the 5. We are bad. You deserve it. That's the girl math I get behind. It's been a rough week, a rough day, a rough hour, a rough year. Doesn't matter. You deserve it. Yeah, we're holiday. A grand champion shopper. I like that, Katie. That's funny. Ooh, the evil Heidi. I guess it depends. So, I guess it depends on the environment. When I'm car shopping, like I just got a new car at the end of last year, and I walked in and I said, "This is what I want. This is my expectation. This is how much I'm spending. I have zero interest in going above that. It will be no. I will walk out of here with no car before you get more money from me, and I expect to walk out of here with a car tonight. That's it." And the dude was like, "Alrighty." And I walked out of there with the car I wanted, on the terms I wanted, out the door. So it always helps to come pre-approved too. So I had the check from my bank already, and I was like, and that's it. That's what we're doing. Let's go. Like, do you want the commissions at all or not at all? But when it's stuff I really like I love all the quilty stuff, I will totally be drawn in with a fun and like a humorous sales pitch for sure. Oh, so happy to have you here. Yay, I'm glad you stopped by. Oh, Marianne, right? Last year, uh, the what are lovingly known as the cheetah suckers came down, and we all stayed. Yeah, good to meet you, evil Heidi. We all stayed at Ingrid's house, and we all went shopping. And there was a tote bag that was at this one shop up in Hagerstown called Wilson's, and we all wanted it, and we were all enabling each other. And I'm going to bet if anybody was going to have made it, it would be Donna. And I don't know that Donna has made it. It is sitting, and there wasn't enough for me. I didn't get one, which is totally fine because it would still be sitting on a shelf, not made for me too. So no shade thrown on the fact that I was not the one to get it. It's just funny that we were all like, "Ooh, ooh, yeah, let's get it," and then not a one has made it. Hi, Denise. How are you doing today? Somebody is banging outside, making the dogs out there going crazy. Janice, you were just on a live yesterday, right? Sean was talking about it, and then we had a bunch of errands to go do, and I was out and about, and I was sort of like on my phone, sneaking to get in some YouTube time. The thing I think is the hardest is finding the time to watch all my friends, watch all the new people that I want to be friends with, that I want to be in the cool crowd to be with them. And to make it to every live is really, really difficult, and it's like a dance. So I try to sneak it in when I can, in between, like, we're running and doing errands, and maybe I just have to be in the car, and I'll sneak in something, do what I can. Yeah, that's good. Go into your local quilt shop. We have such a beautiful shop here in Frederick, and we are lucky. We are close to many quilt shops here in Frederick, and it's good. Oh, you were on Katie's live. Okay, yes. Oh gosh, the you were saying that the quilt shop owner treats you like a friend. They are amazing. It's Charlotte's down here in Frederick. They are amazing, and they know us by name. And well, considering how often Ingrid and I are there, but you do not get the same amount of love from online stores as you do from a local quilt store. If they don't have it at your local quilt store, I'm not opposed to getting it from online. But when you can support your local quilt shop, and if you don't live near one, of course, get your pretties where you can. But I really do enjoy supporting local folks. And then the folks we know, like, I love getting stuff from Stephanie because she's someone I want to support and I want to help her business continue to grow. Oh, there is something over here blocking my view. Oh, my quilt project. What did I say that it's impossible? Now I can't remember. I'm just yammering. Yeah, Denise, it's impossible. There's so much good stuff out there. Oh, Candace, I love Tilda. Was Katie talking about Tilda? I am a Tilda mark for sure. I love the dolls she makes. I've never made a doll, but the dolls she makes, so cute. Well, I don't know if it's she or if it's the company. I don't know how those things go. But oh, Ginny, Ingrid's email is in the comments above, but it might be hard to find. Ingrid, if you wouldn't mind throwing your email up there again, that would be awesome. This is for the Tree of Life sew-along. Not just if you want a new pen pal. I want Ingrid to be your new pen pal. Denver has a lot of great, with a nasty shop owner. There's a local one that has a great shop owner and an absolutely wretched salesperson. So. Oh, impossible. Yeah, that's what, okay. Yeah, it is impossible. I know. And see, the new Tilda line I'm waiting to get because I'm going to get it from my local quilt shop. That's where I've gotten almost all my Tilda stuff. I first found out about Tilda from So Yeah, though. So that is kind of good, where you might not know, like, all the things that are coming up. And because I started quilting during the pandemic, there wasn't a local place to go. So. Oh, Denise. Well, Ingrid's gonna have all new pen pals. I remember doing pen pals. In elementary school, we had one elementary school was closing, and they were bringing all the kids to our elementary school, and so they had all of the kids from all of the grades draw names out of from the grades, and then for the year before they came over, we were pen pals with a kid from the school moving into our school. I thought that was fun. Like, I didn't realize it then, but I think that's brilliant. That was because by the time they all got there, they all had at least one person they knew, and it made the transition like less awkward. It was pretty good. Now I bet you they'd do like Zooms and stuff, so everybody would see each other. last one to trim up, and then I'm going to sew pieces together. So each of these little separate ones I call a unit of where I'm putting the fabric bits onto the unit, and then the units we sew into. So one or two or more units is a section, and so sections keep growing by the number of units that you put on it. And then it's usually to the point where you have two sections that you're sewing together to make the final block. So this is the last unit that I need to trim, and then I'll start sewing sections together. And then we'll see how far we get into the build of this block today. Yeah, that was pretty brilliant of the schools. I was, as a kid, I didn't realize why that was so smart, but years later, looking back on it and having moved up to Frederick from Montgomery County and transitioning Lauren from one school to another, I was like, oh, that would have been really cool how we did that transition. Actually, no, I don't know how much the new Tilda line is per yard. I don't know. I love that Charlotte's working on Steven's first quilt pattern. I'm so excited about that. Ooh, that reminds me. If you have not seen, but you are doing Steven's 10,000 bash, and I'm excited to see how many. Ingrid was asking how many you're doing that. Excited to see how many of us are doing that. Katie and Charlotte, I think, will be, obviously. He did mention in one of his shorts that there was a minor edit he made to his pattern. So if you had downloaded that pattern from the original email, you might want to go back to the file and update your version of the file. I am horrible and don't remember what he said the change was, but there was a slight addition, or update. So yeah, definitely go and make sure you get that updated so you have the most accurate version of the quilt. Charlotte, how is it going? Oh, Candace is going to be there. Marianne's going to be there. Oh, Janice, that's awesome. Yeah, that's learning about the different countries and the different cultures, and being able to realize that there's really not that much difference between all of us all over, that we're all just kind of, trying to make it through the day. Hey, Jean! Jeannie will be at Steven's Bash. I think there are a couple of spots left. There was a little pop-up that came up that he's got a message. It might be in his community tab. It might be a short. That he had a message that I think said that there are a couple of spots left. But it is. I think he only had 96 spaces because the technology, you got to keep some open for our cameras and things like that. And he has to do a hard, at the 96 and not really have a wait list this go around, to try to keep it as fair as possible. But he's going to have giveaways, which is really cool. And you have to be there for the giveaways, so you want to make sure that you're aware of when those giveaways are going to be happening. Karen, to do an inventory of sorts. I mean, yeah. I think what I decided with Steven's pattern is I'm going to do actually, I'll show you right here. I'm going to do a layer cake of shimmer, which is a Northcott brand. I don't know if you guys can see. It's so hard. Anyway, I think it's pretty. And it's like this muted kind of like frosty blues. And so I'm just going to cut this into like, you know, four charm packs and do it that way. Probably take out the lightest ones from in here and do a white background. But that's my plan for Steven's pattern, and my plan was to work on it during the bash, because that's the only way I will be absolutely able to do it. Oh, thanks, Ingrid, for putting Steven's stuff up there. That'll be great. Yeah, you gotta email him so that you can get added to the invite list. Oh, and thanks for putting it. Yeah. Oh. Alright. So we were talking about salespeople, and I hate salespeople, and so I hate that part of my gig is having to be a salesperson. But I'm also such a 12-year-old boy, and I have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy, and when I tell you the amount of time I giggled at the graphics I designed for t-shirts and tote bags and things, I am a mess. I'm such a mess. So I do have t-shirts. I decided to not do this tumbler only because of the size of the graphic that I have, but I do have t-shirts and a tote bag. And then this cracks me up. So this is the first one that I created, and it says, here, I'll do it here too. 1/4 inch size does matter. Y'all, I giggled out loud alone in my room on creating graphics to do this. Guffawed. Oh, it made me so happy. I'm such a dork. But this is one of the prototypes that I got sent, but because it's so big, it's on the front of it, and you see, like, it's starting to wrap around, and I wanted it here, but if I went too small, then you couldn't really see it, and it was just, so, I went against this. I'll figure something else out fun for, like, taking to retreats and everything, but, yeah, that made me so happy. And then I did, a graphic that has a seam ripper, and it says, quilters have one unseemly friend. Also, crazy about the dad jokes. Oh, Terry's going to be at the bash. Oh, I am both a dork and a nerd, so I encompass both, and oh, I think I represent well. And then Ingrid got her package. Ingrid and Marianne and Donna and Landa ordered, so very thankful. And Ingrid sent me a picture of getting her stuff, and I was like, holy wow, like, it's real. Like, it's really out there. Things that I created are out there. That's insane. Well, that's a different story, Ingrid. Oh, Johanna's gonna be at the bash. Yay, good. Very cool. Alright, so I already did A and B together. So, what I do when I am going through the assembly guide, I did A to B, so I'm going to check that off because that was successfully completed. So next, I'm going to do C to D, and that's C and D. Now, they don't always, like, it doesn't always go A, B, C, D, E, F. It kind of can dance around and jump around. So it's not always intuitive to just maybe lay out the pieces and try to fuddle it together yourself, it's not always that intuitive. So having the assembly guide near comes in handy, and following it and making sure that you're setting up. Gotta do it this way. Turn it back around. Setting it up the way it looks on the assembly guide. So sewing C and D together. So these two buttes will go together, and you can tell that it looks a little wonky. Like C seems like it's way out here and D ends short. If I bring this, looking at it this way, if I bring it, you know, so it's even down here, it looks woefully short at the top. But the fun of the Legit kits with these magic white lines, I don't know if you can see them here and down here, these help you line it up across the paper. So this bottom one is the sew line between C and D. So you want this C sew line lined up with the D piece. You're not worried about the from C to F, which will be this piece down here later on. You're not worried about that. You're worried about the sew line only from C to D. So this straight, like continuing on the sew line into this white line is what you're worried about matching up to D. So I want to get that lined up right to the end of the D block. This is, so for me, I'm like comfortable with it not exactly looking right because I never trim off the corners, these ends, but you can see here on this side, the line, the white line for C is going right up to D. C, whoops, I'm flipping it back and forth now. I'm changing it. And this is where if you didn't trim, you could do, well, and you might want to do the pins too, but if you didn't trim it, you could just do the pins to make sure that the corners match up. What I'm going to do is put a pin across the sew line to make sure that's the same on both sides. Where's my handy dandy gnome pin holder? All right, sure, I'm lined up again because I got some seam. So we want to make sure that we come into it at an angle so that we don't shift the fabrics. When we were at the boot camp, we were talking about it's like landing a plane. You want to come at it like a plane. You want to make sure so it's, I don't know if you can tell, it's coming through both sides at the sew line. And then we want it to come back out this side at the sew, whoops, that is, if I look on this side, it might help a little bit instead of me trying to guess. Oop. Then we're good to go. You can also use magic clips to hold it in place until you get it to, because fabric likes to move around a lot, going from here to here, just with the movement of your hands, you could move the fabric around. So putting clips on it could help too. Whatever you're comfortable with, just a couple of different ways to hold it all together so that you're ready to sew it up. Okay. For FPP, I always do a shorter stitch length. So if you sew it like, oh, I did indeed, Danelle. It is a gnome pin holder. It also holds magic clips. So that's what it's 3D printed, and it was a gift from Steven of Idiot Quilter, Bland Designs and Idiot Quilter. He 3D printed those, and it was a part of what he gave me in Georgia, which is the happiest thing in the world. So, look at his little gnome face. It's so cute. So he is over here with magic clips and pins at the ready. Oh yay, Katie, so good. Oh, Charlotte, that's cool. The fact that you tried it is that's all that matters. I want to be able to say I have tried every technique so that I know what I'm talking about when I say I don't like it or I do like it. Like I started an applique project from Art East, and I can say that I don't know that I will ever do applique again, but the subject is a puffin, so I'm totally going to finish it because I love puffins, and I'm going to make it into a pillow. Puffins are possibly my favorite creature in the world. So that will keep me motivated to finish it. But yeah, I just don't think applique is my gig. But I'm happy to have tried it. But that being said, if you ever have any questions, let me know. I can help you out as much as I can. So pretty good. A little bit loose on the back end where I put the magic clip up here and I didn't put one down here. I'm alright with that. A little bit off there. Better, of course, on the side that I saw where I was stitching. And then you can see here where the plane, the line, or the plane of existence for this one continues on in a good straight manner. And then this is the end that I didn't clip, so I'll, clip it to match. But I'm happy with that. So what I'll do now is in the seam allowance from where I put those two blocks together, I go ahead and remove the paper. Just get that out of your way. It's not going to affect the stability of your piece. But keeping the paper in there will absolutely impact your ability to iron this as flat as possible, and will create bulk when you're ready to quilt it that is unnecessary. You don't need to deal with that, and there's no reason to keep it in there until you're ripping out all the papers. So go ahead and do that. Oh, good. So you have like support right there. That's awesome. In trouble with the gnome. Yeah, see, Janice, and so you've learned, and you can talk about it out of experience, and it never has to be anything you ever touch again, which is totally okay. Oh, hey. All right, so I did C to D. And so now I will be doing the section CD to piece E, this little guy here. And it's going to go, C and D is together here. E is going to touch on the outer corner of C to continue the left-hand straight line of block A. So I'm just waiting for my iron to heat back up. Vortex, Iris, and the Lion and Michigan Girl. There you go. Hi, Del Marie. Ooh, Northern California is getting rain and wind, huh? a gnome garden statue named Pork Chop. That's adorable. All right, that should be good to go. I do use my Acorn Easy Press pen for all my projects, but FPP as well, to help make those sections flatter. So I will set my seams more often than not. I will press my seams open on FPP because of all of the sections coming together. But for this one, I'm thinking I will just press it to D, where it's this single piece of fabric where these three fabrics are coming together, rather than folding the three fabrics over top of each other and making a 6 fabric layer on that side. I may keep it going this way to help keep that whole section just overall flatter, rather than bulking up in this area, like right here, where these pieces are all coming together. But you kind of get a feel for that the more you do. So just kind of play around. Decide if you did it open and it feels good, perfect. No worries. All right. Some good heat on that. Dry up the Easy Press solution. And there we go. Now we've got a completed section, and we're ready to, remember that we're doing this, we sew in the mirrored image. So this is what it will look like completed. This is the pretty side that you'll be looking at of a completed block. But when we're sewing it together, we're going to flip this over. We're sewing on that, again, mirror side. I'm going to go ahead and clip off the end. Straighten that out just so it's not distracting. So that's all cleaned up. And then E is going to come on right down here on the bottom of the CD combo. CD. So that's what I'm going to work on next. All right, Denise, thanks for hanging out. Ooh, Mardi Gras. Fun. Hey, Bonita. Oh, raining in Georgia now, too. Boo. There we go. This time I just went ahead and lined it up right here at my machine. So there's less chance of the fabric going, wonky. Almost lost my thread. Did lose my thread. All right, let's get it rethreaded. He was not happy with that. There we go, rethreaded, ready to go. Yeah, they are like nice, subdued, pretty mountain colors. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and trim these threads too. And it is a big deal here in the house to make sure any trimmed threads are Not in the area that Bass Drop can find them. Oh, Bonita, thank you for that. I want to remind everyone, if you are here and you have a YouTube page, please, 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 or a YouTube channel, I guess, please feel free to do a Nightbot command that is set up for my Nightbot. It's exclamation mark selfie. It's selfie is all lowercase, so it's exclamation mark SELFIE all together. There's no spaces. It's just exclamation mark selfie, and that will be able to bring up a link to your YouTube channel. So I know Danelle was here, and Debbie with Inquilfect. Hi, Bonita. Yes, I will. There you go. Good, Danelle. Great. This is a class that I would love to be teaching. Right now, they are not allowing virtual classes, so I would have to travel somewhere to teach it. So if you have like a local quilt guild or shop that wanted to have a certified legit kit instructor or an FPP instructor for any other patterns, let me know. Let's talk. Let's get me out there. Oh, good. All right. We'll see you soon, Debbie. All right. Pretty sure this one I am gonna do open seams because they both have some multiple fabrics coming to meet each other. So we'll do open seams here. There you go, Janice. Yay! Please, for sure, go visit our friends who are here. They're here on my channel supporting me, so I want to make sure that I get to support them too. And also, it's very, very hard to remember to put everybody's channel in the Nightbot manually yourself. So, having the hashtag selfie piece set up is really nice. Alright, so there we go, a nice straight edge. Gonna trim that dog ear. Looking good. Look at the points all coming in right there. Alright, so let's see, that's C, D to E. Now we're gonna put this section to the side, we're up with A and B, because now we're gonna go work on building additional units together to create more sections. So now it's F to G. So F is this larger one, G is this flat across the bottom. So we'll put those guys together. Oh yeah, Benita, I do keep track of the hours. With the caveat that I'm slower than I'm a slower sewer. That could be a T-shirt. And there are folks that are much faster. So it just kind of is where one person might take 154 hours, I might take 212. Oh, good, Donnell, I'm glad. Yes, makes it easier on the moderators, too. 1,000% true. Yep. My tracker's upstairs. Let's see. Between getting the fabrics ready, getting the pieces ready, you know, cut out of the square or the blocks and everything, getting all of the fabric trimmed to sew, and then having sewn up just the units of block one. I'm definitely like already, I'm gonna say like, what was it at last count? Like it was 12 hours at last count, so probably like 15 hours in. Again, I'm slow. I'm just slow. I kind of like zen out and just get in my happy space, and so I'm not really like trying to fly through any of it. It's just I'm just enjoying myself and doing all of the pieces, and so yeah. So when I needed to get them done last year, when I needed to be ready for boot camp, I was Speedy Gonzalez. I finished 3 projects in like 3 months, and I have a full-time regular 9 to 5 job. I put the pedal to the metal and was super speedy. I don't like sewing like that. That sucked the glee out of making them for sure. But you can definitely you can do it if you put your mind to it for sure. I think the command needs to be in a comment all on its own. Oh, you know what? That'd be smart, Marianne. I could like pin it to the top, to as people come in. Hey, while you're here, do hashtag selfie. That would be really good. Thanks, Marianne. Okay, so F and G together. F and G. Again, sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy. I'm so sorry. All right. Again, I'm just going to line this up right here at the machine, so I'm not worried about it shifting between the camera, getting it from from under the camera to the machine. I'll just line it up right here. Alright, looking good. Right on the seam line there. Sew line. Right on the sew line there. So again, going to pull the papers off. So they are not adding unnecessary bulk in the seam allowance when I iron this out. There we go. When you shorten your stitch length, it makes tearing these papers so much easier. So that's always a recommendation with FPP. Again, a recommendation is a suggestion. I'm not the quilt police. I've got no control over what you want to do. If a larger stitch length makes you happy, then do a larger stitch length. Because I will tell you that ripping out a 1.1 stitch length seam is the worst. So you have to weigh your options, what you're willing to deal with. And then we pull it back. Look at that. Look how pretty. Ooh, look at right there. That is satisfying. I think this one's going to be an open seam too, because both sides have some bulk to them. So G is a really skinny piece. It's with a lot. It has 5 pieces of fabric in it, and it's really skinny. This can be fiddly ironing open. Just take your time. Just yeah, just take your time. Don't stress about it. Don't stretch, because these are definitely all bias seams that are happening here with all of these angles. Just be patient and gentle, and it will iron itself out. If you're going to do the seam one way or the other, you're going to have to play with it a little bit less, but there is some bulk there because of the smaller one has 5 and the one G has 5 pieces of fabric and F has 3 coming at that same space. So these are like the decisions that you'll have to make as you're making up your own on what is going to be acceptable for you. All to one side, and you're okay with that bulk, and maybe you have like a little rubber hammer and you're just gonna hammer your frustrations out on that seam. Totally fine. Hey Laura, how are you doing? How's your Sunday? Alright, now to hit it with some easy press. Get that laid down. Now, as you're doing the FPP, the easy press, if you're using the easy press pen, you do not need that much. If you are soaking your papers, you are using too much. You do not need to like keep pushing it down and like refilling the nib and stuff. It will flatten your seams with far less solution than you think you need. So if your papers are getting drenched, that's too much. You're going too far. Yeah, those rubber hammers. Those are one of those. You don't have to have it on hand, when you're starting out, but you will find that those rubber hammers for getting out frustration and for getting seams flatter, they come in handy. So there you go. So I don't know if you can tell, I'll try to hold it at an angle, how nicely flat that seam is, even with all of those pieces of fabric coming at these locations. But you can get incredible results with the Easy Press pen using far less than you think. So definitely don't, none of this paper is wet. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's not wet. This end, this backside didn't even get wet. It's just right here in that seam where I put it. And that's a beauty. So F and G is done. And then we add FG to H to finish this section, and then we'll move on to another section. So that's F and G, and then H comes into play right down here. Oh, thanks, Ingrid. Oh, that sounds lovely. A nice 5-mile walk. Finish up in a baby quilt. Oh. Did you use a specific pattern, Laura, or did you kind of wing the baby quilt? Like, do you have a go-to baby quilt pattern? Thanks, Arian. Oh, yes, you just received the Easy Press pen. It is life-changing. I use it for every project. quite literally every project. Bag projects, traditional piecing projects, FPP projects. I think the only project I haven't used the Easy Press pen on is making rope bowls. I think that's the only one. See how we did here. Nice and pretty. So you see we got the straight line here of, so remember, mirror image, so this straight line is this straight corner, which when you're showing the pretty side to people will actually be the bottom right corner. It's the bottom left corner as you're sewing it. I know it's confusing. It messes with my head too. But it's the corner over here when you're finished. Now that G section is even tinier. As this right here. That is like, what is, that's not even, is it? It is. It's a half an inch now. Just a half an inch little like mini section. But that's also why like FPP looks so hard, because it looks like that would be impossible to sew. To sew those little pieces, that would just be so fiddly and so time consuming and all the way around. And you did it on a foundation of paper, so it held all of the pieces together for perfect points. And you didn't have to, you know, when you put them on the paper, you know, this little bitty piece could have been a 3" by 3" square as you were sewing these on, and you're sculpting that 3" piece into the final little sliver that it needs to be. But you're not actually having to work with that tiny little sliver all by itself. That is the fun of FPP. And I think that's where, when you're wanting to build intricate designs, FPP will always kind of beat out traditional piecing for its precision in that arena. And that's about as soapboxy as I'm going to get. Alright. I don't know why I keep putting my Easy Press pen over there and I don't put it here by the iron. Alright, so F and G to H. Then we'll work on I and J, which is here in this section. I is the smaller bit, J the longer bit. Go ahead and trim these little sections here. There we go. And that is that section complete. Ready to be put to the side for when we build the block. Oh, I was holding it upside down, I think. There we go. This way. Over there. J and I. Yeah, Laura. Oh, Minky backing. Love that. Oh, Shelly, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I do. I wish I was able to. Very, very, very much. Especially, I mean, you guys have been here on supporting me on the whole process of becoming a certified instructor. And it's really important to me to be able to share in the fun with you guys. But as fast as October got here last year to get to boot camp, it will get here just as quickly this year. And then we'll be off and running. We will be doing all the kits and a few of my own patterns thrown in too. Alright, pull these seams. Well, not the seams, the paper's in the seams. You know what I mean. Alright. There we go. There we are. Yeah. I've already got the frames picked out for all three of them. Just, really the really thin metal frames, just in black, so that there won't be so much in between them. And I'm confident at this point. I know it's another year before I get east, but I'm going to put it up above my bed because the greens and the grays really match kind of my aesthetic in my room. I'm really looking forward to having the complete trio. And a trio of pictures is called something, and it's not the trifecta, and I keep forgetting what it's called, but it's called a thing in the art world, and I can never remember what that thing is. Yeah, the little things. What does everybody have planned for the rest of the day? We'll be wrapping up in just a half an hour. It's, for most, it sounds like it's a lovely day. Chilly, but lovely. Some of us have a little bit of rain, but rain's not gonna... Yes, that. However you pronounce that, Marianne. That's the thing. Another thing that you could use too, as you're using the Easy Press, you could use a clapper to help keep the seams flat as it's cooling down. That is a fun one. Triptych. Okay, triptych. That's what they are. Oh man, Cheesecake Factory is an adventure. I went to culinary school in a different world, in a different life. I was a chef. Well, I was a cook. I wasn't a chef. I was a cook. I feel like chefs are pretentious. But And we were told in culinary school, you know, oh, if you're going to go and you're going to open up your own restaurant, and you want to stay focused and you want to have a small menu because it's much easier to remember and perfect and blah, 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 blah. And then half of our class ended up, a third of our class ended up doing, like, on cruises. So they got diplomas in culinary arts and in hospitality for cruise ships. So a third of our class did that, which is awesome. A third of our class ended up at Cheesecake Factory, apprenticing at Cheesecake Factories, because they have such an amazing, like, mentality towards their menu and how they set it up, and how they structure their kitchen so that people remember what recipes they're working on. Pretty freaking cool. And they do not follow the stick to one thing. Oh, errands at Target. Well, that could keep you there for 6 hours. Love a Target run. Alright. A little trim on the end. And a trim on this end. And if you're the plain lines, if they can be, you know, as straight as possible, you are on a good road on making the rest of the sections meet and match for your pieces. So that section's done. IJ. Oh, now we're going to do IJ to F through H. So we're bringing these back together again. So now we're going from 2 smaller sections to 1 bigger section. So 6 is done. Now we're on 7. Nice. So I'm slowing down when I've come to a spot where both sections have a good amount of seams coming together. I'm just slowing down to go over that so I don't have any skipped stitches or anything. Just want to make sure it's nice and clean as it goes over that section. And then I'm maintaining the 1/4 inch because 1/4 inch is really important. Even on the FPP, as we're bringing these sections together, maintaining that 1/4 inch for the seam allowance is important so they all join successfully. Now, when it doesn't happen exactly right, just like in traditional piecing, there's some wiggle room. You can, you know, adjust and make it work. But in 2024, I am working on precision and getting better and better at precision, and so those are areas that I want to start paying more attention to, where I have to fiddle less because I'm paying more attention to the precision at every step. There we go. One piece was being persnickety. Here it is before we iron it out. So these all come together right here. So that's going to be, this is why this seam will be definitely a ironed open, because this is a lot, 7 pieces of fabric coming together in one spot. So this would be a lot to fold one way or the other. Yes, I'll be folding all of this fabric back on itself, but it will still even it out across both sides much nicer than going from one side or the other. And then this guy, all these points meet right here. That's satisfying. That is so satisfying. When it happens, enjoy it and celebrate when it happens, when all of those points come together for you, because it even for me, it does not happen all the time, and there are times when I'm like, close enough, because maybe it's like the third time I've sewn it and I'm not going to do it again, but it doesn't always come together that nicely, so rejoice when it does, but don't beat yourself up when it doesn't. I think we all know that, fabric is not a sentient being, but we all also kind of know that fabric is a sentient being and it has a mind of its own. And we spend a lot of time trying to bend it to our will. Such a storied life. Oh, Laura has. What information should I put on a quilt label? I haven't been good at labels. I am wretched at labels. Happy. Oh yes, definitely happy anniversary. Sorry, I went off on a tangent about Cheesecake Factory and did not even say. Can y'all tell I need lunch? Happy anniversary. Oh. Oh, wow. So, what makes a good quilt label? That's a really good question. Um, I think having your name on it for sure. I think having their name on it and the year and the occasion. I think, right? I feel like those are like must-haves. You want to honor the occasion, even if it's a just because I love you. That's the occasion. I didn't make it for a birthday. I didn't make it for, Christmas. I didn't make it for a reason other than I was thinking about you and I was giving this to you. What do you think? Does that feel right? Then I guess it's the how you want to present all of that information on the label. Like, are you more militant, like, to Janice from Laura for your birthday in 2024, or do you give it more zhuzh? Enforced fabric compliance. Yes. For the birth of my great nephew. So maybe saying, commemorating the birth of, uh, or commemorating the joyous arrival of my great nephew, something like that. I can get pretty flowery with words, so. And I hear you on the 1/4 inch. That is a part of the getting better, getting more precise in 2024, is making sure I'm really adhering to the 1/4 inch rules and regulations. Oh, date completed. That's nice too. Oh, that's fun, Laura. Having the embroidery machine makes it so fun. so that section is done. I'm going to check it off. Oh! Lost my top to my pen. There we go. Got it back. All right. So again, we'll trim. There. And there, we're keeping those planes straight for the next pieces to be added to it. Liking it. I love that you can't really, like, not really sure what this is, because you can't tell from the assembly guide. So I'm not sure. I could take a look at the picture. I'll bring the picture up in a little bit to see where we're at. But I like that I can't really tell what the heck's going on right now. Alright, so now F through J is going to go on to piece K. So this is F through J, and K is down here in this corner. So now we're going to have the bottom foundation of this block completed by adding K to this FJ section. So here, let me move this up a little bit. So this is pretty side up when we're looking at the finish. This is the bottom right, and this is adding the bottom left corner with this piece. So let's get to work. Alright. Ingrid. I love that. It is so true. Yeah, you gotta finish them to label them, I suppose. Alright. Woo! Papers, take the papers off. Okay, I know we are almost at time, and this is totally off topic, but I was just thinking about this. I watched, if you have Netflix, and you haven't watched this yet, and you are of a certain age, and remember when they did the song We Are the World, Netflix has a documentary on that night where they have interviews with a lot of the artists that were there, who are still with us, a lot of the artists that were there to make the song. I love that documentary, and I loved watching it and seeing it again. I remember singing that song in school, in chorus. So if you haven't had the opportunity, and if you remember that fondly, like I do, that was a good documentary. Amazing. It's really fun and funny to hear, you know, those were all the most amazing, incredible recording artists at that time, you know, when they were together. And to hear them all geek out about the fact and how they were all so unsure of themselves around the other greatest artists is pretty wild. Like, we're all just 12-year-old dorks. Afraid people are going to find out we're all just 12-year-old dorks. Ooh, a lot of fabric coming at this intersection. Not just the section, but the intersection itself. This one's going to be a hammer area. Let me see if it is going to look okay opened or if it's going to cooperate. A lot of fabric coming in this section. But look at that. Woo! So that is the full 2 bottom corners completed. Pretty happy with those points too. Well, y'all are good luck. Thank you. Looking good. You were an older dork. So many. I was surprised by how many are still here and shocked at how many are gone. Pretty wild. But it was a really good documentary. It was fun to watch. Awesome. Oh, this makes me happy. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. The iron and the easy press is not enough to tame all. Look, like, I don't know if you can see, just all of these pieces coming in this section right here. This is gonna have to be a rubber mallet. Beat it to my will. But I'm pretty happy with this. Good stuff. So, alright. So that's that guy. So then we're going to start on the middle section. We're going to start with L to M. Yep. So L, M, N, O. The most fun part of the alphabet to say, L, M, N, O. Are going to be the next 4 pieces that get sewn together. And then this elemento section is going to get put onto this larger section. And then C and A are added onto the top. So super close to being done, but we are kind of at time. So I'm going to go ahead and put L and M together. Actually, I may talk a little bit about these patterns specifically, because this could be something that is confusing for folks. When they're doing the sections or the little units that you're sewing up, when they come to the L's, all of these are lowercase, right? A through, if we got to Z, it would be. So is there a Z? No, we're up to Q on 2. Yeah. But they will use the capital L in the lettering to help it not look like it's A1 or A2, you know, where the lowercase L kind of looks like a Roman numeral 1. So to help eliminate any confusion about that, they will throw in the capital L. So don't be thrown off. Don't think that you're missing all these other capital letters in your block. It's just to help keep the confusion down on what A1L, A2L is supposed to be, so it doesn't look like or is misunderstood as a number 1 instead of a lowercase l. So just to help you guys out if you're doing Central or West. Some of their pieces have so many letters. I can't remember. Many Rows is the one where we went to like double letters, and I can't remember how they did the L. It might have been capital L, capital LL. Yes, I feel like that's what they did. But if you're ever working on a legit kit and you realize, wait, I have a capital letter here in the middle of all these lowercase letters, it's meant to be that way to help keep it clearer in the numbering. So that's all. Oh yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It was really good. All right, so I'm going to start sewing these last 4 ones together, but also talk about, what's coming up and what we'll be doing next. So next up for this week, is Tuesday night, if you can believe it, is New York Beauty Night. And it will be, because February is an even month, it will be on Stephanie Stitch's channel. So you'll want to go and check us out on her live Tuesday at 6 p.m. It is Wedge Tail. It's Wedge Tail on Tuesday night. And so if you are sewing along with us, go ahead and get those pattern pieces either printed out or copied, cut apart and ready to go for Tuesday night. If you have thought about joining us but haven't taken the dive in yet, please join us and hang out with us just the same. We'd love to have you there, and it is a lot of fun. We're all having a really good time sewing together, and the blocks are looking incredible. Everybody's doing such a great job. It's so fun. Again, just like with the 2-color quilt challenge, it's so fun seeing the different pattern or different patterns in the types of fabrics that people are choosing. Are they using batiks? Are they using solids? It's been so much fun. I still have Wombat here. So this is what I'm talking about if you haven't seen. These are the New York Beauty blocks that we're doing. This is the last one that we did on my channel. The Wombat. There's some fabric or thread stuck in there. That's not coming out. But so, yep, this is Wombat. And it is stunning and gorgeous, and it makes me so happy. This one had 5 arcs, so these 2 pieces are the same for every single block, and we're doing 16 blocks. These are the same for every single one. These in here change. The first 2 we did, they were just 2 arcs. The next 2 we did, there were 3 arcs in various orders. And this go around, we ended up with these diamonds coming across. Stunning. So much fun. I did 2 different fabrics for on either side of the diamonds. You could have done the same fabrics. People are doing crazy stuff. Yes, Laura, that documentary is on Netflix. Now that I've said it's on Netflix, now I'm second guessing myself, but I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. We Are the World. I didn't realize, but probably because I didn't pay that much attention to stuff back then, but it was a real, Lionel Richie was far more a part of the I didn't realize how in-depth he was about, getting the talent together and getting everybody into doing it, and it was a really good insight on that whole thing. But yeah, anyway, Tuesday night, New York Beauty, So this is one we just did. We're going to be doing Wedge Tail. We are doing it from the book Dazzling New York Beauty Sampler. There is also, you can either get it from Amazon. There's also a digital download from C&T Publishing. I don't know if it's in my description anymore, so check that out. But amazing information in the book itself, incredible information in Cynthia White has a Facebook group where you get incredible details and some help on adding your seam allowance to these blocks in her Facebook group. It's been a lot of fun. So that is Tuesday night. Thursday morning will be podcast morning. So I will have up what has been happening over the past week, all the things we've gotten into, like cotton cuts and today's fun. So I'm not sure when we're going to do Tree of Life. It's going to depend on when people get theirs and when we're going to be able to set up the Zoom. But Stephanie will be back soon. She's actually traveling with have you seen on Stephanie's channel? She got to see like manatees in the wild, not like a theme park or anything with the kids, but manatees in the wild, which is so cool. Manatees are a pretty cool creature, so that was neat to see on her shorts. Hey Colleen, how are you doing? Happy to see you. We are just wrapping up, just a couple minutes left. I ended up talking too much to even put M and L and M together. But so that'll wrap up the week. We'll get those invites out for the Zoom. Again, Tree of Life is a private Zoom sew along this go around. So if you have been nervous about joining the Zoom when we were doing Carnival on Zoom and YouTube Live, this time it'll be just Zoom. It will never be on YouTube. It's not meant to be distributed to the masses out here in YouTube land. So please do feel comfortable to come and join us. We would love to see your beautiful faces there. We'd love to spend time actually chatting and hanging out with more of the folks that have only joined us on YouTube and not on camera. So that'll be fun this go around. Yep, I haven't gotten mine yet either, Charlotte. Russ earlier this morning was saying he has a friend that just got theirs and they posted about it. So that was pretty cool. So people are getting it out in the wild. Oh yeah, 2 feet of snow will do it for sure, Colleen. Well, I hope that you will stay warm and maybe watch the replay, catch some of the information. We've been having fun working on Hazy Hills Central. I think we got a good chunk of it done. We've got most of the sections done. It's just these 4 little units that we got to put together. I got to put together, and then we'll be able to finish the block to completion. So good amount of work done today. I appreciate everybody being here and helping me out on this. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. If you can get out in the beauty of the day, please do. It looks gorgeous here in Maryland. So I might do a little walkabout with the dogs. We'll see. But yeah, everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for spending your time with me this morning. It has been absolutely amazing as always, and I love the conversations we always end up having. So it has been a blast. I appreciate you all so much. If you would be so kind as make sure that you have subscribed before you sign off and hit the thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. I'm getting closer and closer to 1,000, which is kind of like the first major goal, like the milestone for YouTubers. So I would appreciate that if you would check that out. And then I will see you again next Sunday for Sunday Brunch again. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.